Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to make a video for you guys just to show you how to use the Discord with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 so that you can actually set up and fly with your friends in multiplayer. It's actually a lot easier than you guys may think it is. I'm going to give you guys the easiest tutorial I can think of. So stay tuned and we're going to get into it right now. Okay guys, so as you all may know, Flight Simulator does not have any way of communicating with each other while you're in the aircraft. So in order to use the multiplayer, the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to open the Discord. So I'm opening up mine here, and I'm just going to show you very basically how to connect to a voice channel. Here you'll see in my particular Discord I have a whole segment here of voice channels. I have General 1, 2, Flight Simulator 1, Flight Simulator 2, and Flight Simulator 3. For the purposes of my group flights, we usually use Flight Simulator 1. So in order to join this, all you're going to do is you're just going to click on it. What's going to happen is you're going to show up under that voice channel and you see the bubble turns green because I'm talking, so it's notifying that I have a voice. When I stop, you'll see it'll stop and then it'll come back again. So if you no longer want to participate in the voice, you can actually mute your microphone here at the bottom, or you can put your headsets to deafen, which means that you won't hear anything on the headset. If you want to leave this completely and you don't want to be able to hear other people, there is a button here called disconnect, and if you click this, it'll disconnect you from the group. And normally you'll see multiple people on there if everybody has joined the same voice channel. At the same time, I'm going to connect again. If you also wanted to share the Microsoft Flight Simulator experience with your friends, there is an option here where there's like a little monitor with a cable, and if you click this, it'll ask you a couple of questions. You're just going to leave those on because they're all already pretty much set up. You're just going to click go live, and then your friends will be able to log on and see what it is that you're doing. But they must be on the same Discord under the same voice channel, and you'll see now there's a little button that says live. So again, I'm just going to disconnect, and I'm going to exit the voice channel. And now let's just move on to the actual flight simulator and see what settings we need to change here. So there are a couple of things that you want to make sure that we turn on before we start the multiplayer, because if you don't, it may not work as well, or it may not work at all. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go into options, and under general, we're going to look for data. When you click on data, you want to make sure that these first couple of options are all turned on. So online functionality, Bing, data, world graphics, photogrammetry, live real-world air traffic. This one you don't really need to, but I leave mine on anyways. Live weather, mine's also on. Again, it's not necessary. But this last one, the multiplayer, this one does have to be turned on, or else you cannot connect with your friends. So the second thing you want to do is we want to move over to traffic. When you click on traffic, there's only one option here that you want to look for, and that is the show traffic nameplates. I have mine on. If it's off, you should turn yours on. And what this does is when your friends are spawning in at the airport, or when you're flying with them, if they're farther away and you can't see their aircraft, you'll at least see their names written in the sky in like a box. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So that's pretty much all you have to do for the settings. If these are all done, then we should be able to start a group flight. Last thing you're going to want to configure is going to be the parameters for the actual flight itself. So in order to do that, you're going to click on the world map, and you're going to be greeted with this nice globe with all the point of interests and airports. And the first thing you want to look at here is going to be the aircraft. So if you click on it, you're going to get to select and choose the aircraft that you want to fly with in the group flight. I'm going to leave it with the same aircraft that we had before, the Shock Ultra, so I'm okay. And then the second thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to try and load the flight plan, or you're going to start at an airport. So if the host of the flight has provided you with a file that ends in a .flt or .pln, those files can actually be uploaded directly and it'll populate the route automatically for you. So as an example, at the bottom here you see it says load and save. If you click here and you click load, I already have a couple here saved. So if I just picked one of these, let's say I picked mountain.pln, which stands for plan, and I click open, there you go. So the flight plan has automatically populated, and I don't really have to configure too much. Just go right into the flight conditions, set that up, and then go into the flight. If this file system has not been provided to you and you don't have a flight plan to load, then they'll most likely at least tell you the starting airport and the airport where you're going to end off. So in order to enter that in manually, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click here where it says select departure airport, and then you're going to put your airport. So you can type it in if you want to. I'm just going to pick an airport close to home, so CYTZ, and enter, and there's the airport. So in case you didn't know this before, you can either just select directly from here, select departure if it's available, or if you zoom into it, right now it's automatically already set. But if you zoom in, you'll see that there's these little dots everywhere on the airport. So the dots are positions in which you can start. If you start on the runway and other members also start on the runway, there's a good chance that you may not see them because they'll overlap. So if you're doing a group flight, it's probably recommended that you would populate in one of these parking spots. So you would click on one of these areas. So let me say I clicked here and I said depart from here. See at the top now you're going to see it says departing from the airport, and underneath it's saying the gate and ramp where I'm departing from. You could have also clicked this drop down and pick one here, but if you don't know the airport very well, it's just easier to look at it visually and pick one. And as you can see, there's a couple of little airplanes flying away. Those are actually other members that are on the same server flying right now, so you can actually see them when you zoom in. So after you've done this, you can do the same thing for the arrival airport. You can put one in here that you'd like, or you can just leave it blank. You just want to start off with the departing airport is fine. I'm just going to leave it blank because I don't have a departure to go to yet. So we're going to leave that, and then the next thing that you want to look at is you want to look at the flight conditions. Now this part here is important, especially this area. There is a multiplayer option right here, and this multiplayer option gives you three choices: live players, all players, and off. You have to have this turned on to all players, and it'll tell you here on the right hand side what it means. All players will be visible regardless of their settings, unless they have set multiplayer to group only. If you click it to live, other players will be visible if they have also set their multiplayer settings to live players, and they share the same air traffic settings, recommended for more authentic sim experience. So you see, as soon as I click that this area down here disappeared. I can't click on this anymore. So normally what I usually use is I use the all players, click this here. I leave the AI traffic off just to give me a little bit better performance and frame rates, especially when you're flying with groups. And then at the bottom over here, again, this is your choice. So it doesn't matter if you want to fly during the night, during the day, morning, evening, or even have the live weather turned on. I usually leave it on live, personally. And then once I actually get into the flight, at that point I'll take a look at the conditions, and if it's poor and I can't see, at that point then I'll advise to change it to something else. So that's pretty much all you have to set up here. Once those are all done, then it's as easy as just click fly, and you'll be loaded into the airport. And at that point you should be able to see your other members start to spawn in there as well. So let's try it. Alright guys, so I've spawned into the airport here, and the first thing you're going to notice is there's a couple of name tags out in the distance. Those are actually other players that are on the same server. I'm not doing a group flight currently. I just kind of spawned into an airport, But normally when you're doing a group flight and they had spawned in with you, this is what you should normally see, is these little tags with your friends' names on them. So you know that this is working, and you know that your friends are there when you start seeing these names pop up all over the airport. And if I get closer to them, I'm not sure if they're on the ground, but I'm going to try to get closer to them. You should be able to see their aircrafts as well. Now, one thing that's important to note as well, just in case you guys made a mistake, if you guys entered into the sim and you forgot to change your server, you can change it without having to exit the sim. You're just going to press escape and it'll be on the top left of the screen. I'll show you that in a second. So don't mind my airplane here, it's just on one wheel. So on the left hand side, you'll see there's somebody there that I guess just came off of the runway, and he's parking. I can see his aircraft. And there's another player just at the end of the runway who's probably getting ready to take off, and I'm in his way, so I'm going to move. But that's as simple as it is. Make sure the servers, you know, are the same. You know, you guys are spawning in at the same airports. And as far as the settings go, you just want to make sure that you have the multiplayer turned on and the real world data and everything else. And as you can see off into my left, into the distance, there's tons of people already flying around. Again, these are not people that I know, and they're not people from my Discord. They're just people that are also flying on the same server. They can just be random people. But these are all unique individuals. They're not AI-generated aircrafts, because I have that turned off at the moment. Okay? So if you made the mistake and need to make the change, just press escape. Turn my brake here. And then again, you have the option right here where you can just click and you can switch to a new server or to the correct one if you have to. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of the video. I hope that this was informative and that it answered most of your questions. If you guys still have more questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below and I'll make sure to get to them. I hope that I've earned a subscription on the channel from you guys, and that you liked the video. And as always, hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Happy flying.